What do you think is the greatest logo in the entire world? Go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know down below what you think it is. I personally think it hasn't even been created yet, and that's why in this video I want to teach you how to create the world's greatest logo. Stay tuned, but first, let's roll this intro. Alright, we are back and we are ready to talk about how to design the greatest logo of all time. Now, I don't think that the greatest logo of all time has even been designed yet. Branding and logo design as we know it today are actually relatively new, but that's a really unique opportunity for you and me as logo designers to design the greatest logo of all time. But even if the greatest logo of all time hasn't been created yet, there are some principles and foundational truths that the logo will follow. And that's what I want to teach you today, because it's our job as logo designers to strive to create the greatest logo design every time we sit down to create a logo mark. So how do you make the greatest logo design in the world? Well, here are 4 principles that the greatest logo design will have and that you need to be implementing in all of your logo designs. The first principle that the greatest logo design will have is that it will be simple and based around geometric shapes. This means that the greatest logo icon of all time will be a flat icon that's based around fundamental geometric shapes, things like squares and circles. Think about, for example, the Apple logo, which many consider to be one of the greatest of our time. It's based on circles, particularly the golden circles, which come from the golden ratio. Logos that are built on geometric shapes as flat icons are classic, and the greatest logo of all time will be one of those. The second principle that the greatest logo of all time will follow is that it will be instantly recognizable in its industry. We don't know what that logo is going to be, but the best logos are ones that are unique in their market space. This means that if you're designing something, make sure you take into account what everybody else is doing and don't design a logo mark that just blends in with everyone else. If you want to design the best logo in the entire world, you need to design something that's unique to that market. The third principle is that the greatest logo design of all time is going to be properly exposed. Having a well-designed logo is great for your company, but that's going to do no good for you unless it can get in front of your customers. Your customers have to be able to recognize that that trademark is a representation of your company, and if you're not exposing your logo properly, then your customers will never have that connection. The best logos of our time have great brand exposure. And if you're a brand designer, what this means for you is that you need to ensure that your clients are using the logo properly. If your client isn't using the logo properly, it will never have the exposure that it needs to live up to its potential. Lastly, the greatest logo in the world will never be changed. The best logo marks don't need to change. Visiting the greatest logo designer of all time should be a one-time trip. You should never have to go back. The greatest logo design will be able to handle whatever culture throws at it. Whether technology changes, the industry changes, the logo will remain the same. The greatest logos are timeless works. So when you're creating logo design, strive to create a logo that will never need to be changed, no matter what happens in our world. These are the 4 principles that the greatest logo design of all time will have. And whether it's been created or it hasn't been created, who knows? In fact, it's probably a matter of opinion, but we have an opportunity to always strive to create the greatest logo of all time. So we should always be focusing on these fundamental principles so that we create great logo marks every single time. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful. If you did, please drop me a like and consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss any of the content that I have coming out. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.